Could the fuel of the future be hidden in moon dust? How much electricity do you use in a typical day? It's actually not that hard to figure out. You take the wattage of your various appliances and you multiply it by the number of hours that they're typically on. We measure this in kilowatt hours, but how much electricity does the world use? According to the International Energy Agency, we generated 22,668 terawatt hours of electricity in 2012. To put that in perspective, a kilowatt is 1,000 watts. A terawatt is 1 trillion watts. 22,000 trillion watt hours of electricity. That's shocking. Now, about 40% of that electricity is generated from coal-fired power plants. Another 22% comes from natural gas. So wouldn't it be awesome if we could move away from fossil fuels to some non-fossil fuel method of generating electricity? How about we take some inspiration from the biggest power generator in the neighborhood, the sun? Stars like the sun formed when clouds of gas in space encountered a gravitational disturbance. This caused clumps to form in the gas. Gravity forced those clumps to condense and grow larger, drawing in more gas as a result. As these clumps condensed, they grew hotter, eventually growing hot enough for fusion to occur in the core of the gas cloud. This allowed hydrogen atoms to fuse into helium, releasing energy in the process. Fusing hydrogen into helium to generate electricity here on Earth would be amazing. It would be a huge step forward from nuclear fission. That's splitting the atom, and that's what our nuclear power plants use right now. Fusion, unlike fission, doesn't require dangerous fuels or generate radioactive waste. So why aren't we using it? Because there's some pretty big challenges in the way. Keep in mind, the sun is massive and it's really hot, so the conditions are perfect within the core of the star for spontaneous fusion to occur. To replicate that here on Earth isn't easy, but we're trying. It involves a lot of physics, but mostly we're talking about high-powered particle beams in an extreme heat environment to initiate fusion. There are other issues as well. We have to find the right fuel. One good candidate is helium-3, but there's not much of it here on Earth. However, there is a lot of it on the moon, so if we were able to go to the moon and mine it, we could have fuel for our magic star machines. Here's the best part, people are doing that! We did an episode about it, check it out! So, to sum up, nuclear fusion would mean we harness the power of the stars here on the planet Earth. It would mean we'd be mining the moon for the fuel of the future, and it would mean my mind would literally melt out of my ears. I want all of these things to happen, but we have to keep in mind it only works if every step makes sense. We have to add up all the energy we are exerting and make sure that the energy we're harvesting is greater than that. But I'm an optimist. I think if this stuff can work, we'll figure it out. But I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on the subject. What do you think is the future of energy here on Earth? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks to Toyota for sponsoring our show and making it possible. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit that like button, join the Forward Thinking Think Tank by subscribing to our channel, and then check out these other videos right over here.